and welcome to today's special episode of Active and Healthy with Gina. I am delighted to be able to be welcoming today a new guest, Yolande Brand, who's from an organization called Geriatric. So we're going to be hearing from her after our break and after we've done our exercises. So I hope that you're sitting at home, that you're sitting in a chair, that you're ready to be able to do 10 minutes of movement, get this body gently warmed up, and just realize how easy it is to be doing 10 minutes of physical movement every single day. So if you're ready, let's get started. Hands up. And we're just going to start moving our fingers when we've got some music. Lovely. So just open and close these hands. Just open and close. We're focusing on the upper body this morning, so it's going to be everything to do with our digits. So fingers, roll that thumb. So important to keep our hands nice and loose and mobile. Roll it the other direction. Wiggle these fingers down slowly. Bring them back up and down. So easy to be doing. Always move within your own range of movement. If your shoulders are stiff, you don't have to be doing them or lifting them too high. We're taking the hands here and out and back and out and back and out and back. Slow press and bring it back in. Slow press and quicker. In and out. So we're working wrists, elbows. Keep these arms out. Palms up and down. Up and down. Not a joint that we normally move this way, so important to be able to keep that flexible too. And a little wave. Don't know who we're waving at, but maybe it's a regal wave. And the other way. How does the Queen wave? I got no idea. I may be British, but I've been in South Africa too long. Is it like this? Or maybe it's like that. Got to look serious with it. Little hoity-toity. Arms on the shoulders. And just roll these shoulders. We're rolling them forward. And we're going to roll them back. Backwards and forwards. I'm going to keep the hands at the shoulders now. And we're going to do alternate press, backwards and forwards. Always good for the brain to work right, left sides. Makes you think harder. Keep this body going. Keep these movements going. Back to your shoulders. We'll just take them in and out. Keep going. Even when the music stops, we've got to wait for the next song. That's lovely. Keep it going. So the next part of the body that we're going to move is the spine. So we're just going to do a nice, slow reaching over to the side. So we're going to take one hand up. We're going to reach it over and back, over and back. So I'm taking the body to the side, all the different directions that the spine can move. Last one this side, and let's change sides. So bring it up, reach over and back. Over and back. That's lovely. Over and back. I think that's my shoulder creaking. I wonder if the camera's pricking that up. If some part of your body's creaking today, that's okay. Happens to the best of us. So we're going to take both hands up. I want you to turn to one side. Let the whole head turn. Follow the arms. So you're just waving in the wind like one of those wonderful blown up balloons that you see at the garage advertising, I've got no idea what. So lots of movement. Bring these arms round behind you. Up and over. Remember, if the shoulder's painful, you just reduce the height or level of the movement. So you can just bring it in a sweep in front of you. Bring it across your chest. You're just doing nice big sweeps, almost imagining sweeping leaves off a table. That's going to be happening soon. Autumn is happening. Let's reach forward with the other hand. Lovely. Keep going. Don't stop. It's only going to be 10 minutes. We're going right the way through. Both hands together. Bring them towards you. Lovely. Hands on your shoulders. Just do that big roll again. Lovely. So get some spinal movements, getting spine going side to side. Now, the next one's a little creative and a little silly. It's about doing things with animals. So, I want you to imagine the animals you had as a child. So for me, I had two little kitty cats. One was called Chi-Chi. It was black and white. And the other one was a black cat. And it never got a name. It was always known as Black Cat. The black cat was very thin, Chi-Chi was very fat. So we're going to be Fat Cat. Prowling. He never chased anything because he was just simply too fat. Actually, his highlight was we had bars outside my kitchen window. He used to love doing a somersault. So we're doing somersaulting cat. Come on, kitten videos on the internet are the biggest thing out there. So this was my little Chi-Chi doing his rolls. But the black cat used to sit on the wall and hiss at whatever went past. Come on, we're being silly. You're allowed to be playful. It's okay. Little cat, raised hair. And then washing their ears. Always rubbing behind their ears. And then my first dog was a lovely golden Labrador called Alex, who was very enthusiastic. Golden Labradors always are, very sweet. But he wasn't neutered, so he used to wander. It was the old days when the gates were open. And we used to have problems. We'd have all the neighbours ringing up saying, "Can you come and collect your dog? He's doing things he shouldn't with my Great Dane." The resulting offspring were very interesting. We don't have to do that on the show, okay? There are limits to what we do. Doggy, standing up, barking, woof, 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 woof. I did this in my class last week and I asked what they had as animals. One of my members, Michael, students, had a squirrel. He was called Nuts. Isn't that wonderful? I just love it. So, come on, we're being nuts, going around a tree. Squirrels love chasing around trees. Because of balance in the body, what goes one way must go the other. So that's Nuts. And actually he's got to finish wiggling his tail. I always wanted to do that. A little squirrel tail. Come on, let's finish getting these legs moving. Up and down. So, this is hips and knees. And we're just going to do some little kick out. Out and kick. So we've got to do some lower body as well. And how about pointing opposite hands? Also good for the brain to work. Cross body, right, left. So I want opposite hand to toe. All these exercises are good for us at any age, any stage. Up and down. Last one this side. How? My hip's hurting. Is yours? Always do what you can. Just that little bit, so nice and easy. Keep it loose. Keep it flexible. Pointing opposite sides. That's good. Now we're going to keep the leg we've just been lifting up closer to the body and the other one's going out and tapping in front of it. And point the finger to the same toe that's reaching out. Even if it's just a little bit to the side, that's good. If you can reach further, even better. And just so you know, wear and tear arthritis, I had a total hip replacement done 3 years ago. So I can move this hip as well as anybody. It just shows. Keep moving it. Loosens it up. This is the operated one, by the way. And point to the foot when it's out. Keeping up with me? I do hope so. We are almost there. We're going to have a little break after that. Have the opportunity to grab some water. And then we're going to meet my guest, Yolande. So, keep marching on the spot. We want these hips, knees, ankles. Keep moving. There we are. Kept ourselves moving, 10 minutes. So I hope that you enjoyed that little session, got everything loosened up. So we're going to go to break. We're going to hear all about Geriatric Giants when we come back. And if you don't know what that is, neither do I. But that's why we've got Yolande in the studio to tell us all about it. So go grab yourself some water. See you back in a moment. And welcome back to part 2 of Active and Healthy with Gina. I hope that you've had your water, you've had your little break, and you're ready to listen in onto a really interesting conversation that I'm going to be having with Yolande Brand from Geratec. Welcome, Yolande.
Thank you, Gina. It's lovely to be here.
Well, it's a great pleasure for us to have you on the show. So please tell the viewers all about Geratec and what they do.
Goodness, how much time do we have?
Not enough, but just the highlights, their mission.
Geriatric is a company that is focusing on person-centered care for older people. We work a lot with people in care centres and in residential villages more recently. And that's what was very exciting to me to come this morning and to see your show and your exercises, that there's an opportunity for people to take part in how they age, that they can take responsibility in actually staying healthier for longer. So Geriatric is involved with old age homes and villages, and we focus on bringing in a proactive approach to people to support them to have the best quality of life as long as possible.
Wonderful. You're encouraging them to get involved in the process.
Yes. They are the experts. The people around bringing services to them are not the experts. They are the experts in their lives. So we really want to focus and bring resources to them that they can make the right decisions for them in their life.
Wonderful, because that's exactly what we want from the show, is to give people the resources and the information on what they can do to improve their quality of life. Yeah. So that's lovely, and I know you do great work among the care sector. Wonderful. So you're going to talk today to us a little bit about the Geriatric Giants, and I know that it's a very big subject and you cover different topics, but I think you've chosen two today that you're going to share with the viewers. So
that's right.
What are we going to start with?
The Geriatric Giants is where there's 5 instances that can happen in an older person's life that the general public expect to happen. But what it says is that some of these things are not a normal part of aging.
Right.
It is something that might happen, but we don't have to accept it and say it's just because we're old that this has now happened.
Very good.
And the 2 topics that I wanted to just touch on today was falls and then incontinence.
Okay, all right.
And the falls part, it connects so well with the exercises that you did today.
Yes.
Because we all fall, and I think that's where people, when they grow older, they expect to fall, but falling happens throughout your life.
Yes.
It's just that as you grow older, the risks involved with injuries gets greater.
Absolutely.
But the bigger thing is the fear of falling after somebody has fallen. If somebody has fallen, an older person has fallen, they might not have injured themselves, but now they become scared of falling again. And that's where a vicious cycle is then started, that they stop going out, they stop walking to the neighbors, they stop walking to the local shops, and that's where they then become so scared of falling again that they become less and less active. And as the saying that if you don't use it, you lose it. If they become less active, all the muscles that are there to actually help them walk and prevent them from falling becomes weaker.
That's understandable.
Big cycle.
Vicious cycle.
Yeah.
It's very much confidence, isn't it? As you say, the moment you have a bad fall, I mean, I remember seeing it with my late mum too. She had a fall. And I think one of the things that they also do, if they have fallen, they stumbled, it's part of why they end up so stooped, because they're always looking at the ground.
Yes.
Because you're worried about where your feet are going. You don't trust your body's balance.
Yeah. And the gait then changes. The gait that that's an automatic reaction.
Yes.
That changes because walking becomes a conscious activity again, where it's supposed to be an automatic thing that you learn from childhood.
Right.
And it's exactly what you're saying. It's that fear of falling again. And the children that says, "Oh, mom, be careful," or don't do that, don't do that, you're going to fall again. It's all those messages that the person then gets from external sources that also contributes to that fear and just makes it grow bigger and bigger.
I remember reading an article in America saying that fear of falling is probably, and balance is one of the biggest fear and challenges for people as they age, and it is perfectly understandable. It's one of the lovely things about what Ageless Grace does, is we have one of our tools that it specifically works on the body's ability to respond, react and recover.
Definitely.
Because we all need to be doing that, and it's not as if the exercises are just for people as they age. You and I can be doing them as well, because we're both so young. And wonderful. So what do you do to kind of teach people more specifically on fall prevention methods? Do you have documents or things that they can go and look at?
We do. We normally start with a risk assessment where somebody can either assess themselves to see what is their risk of falling, or we can do the assessment with them. And the approach is proactive. We don't want to wait for somebody to have fallen and then bring in a fall prevention program. It defeats the purpose.
Right.
So the idea is to be proactive. And that's where we're now starting to get involved in retirement villages, where those people that are living independently, we want to support them to stay living there for as long as possible with the best quality of life. So it is about educating people what increases your risk to fall, and then how can you again decrease those. And there's a lot of different resources, information leaflets, discussions, training sessions, but also for those people that already support and give care, that they also know that doing everything for an older person is not helping them.
No.
It is actually disabling them more by taking away opportunities where they can be active. So that's also where, it's a care partner approach where everybody involved, families, as I said.
Yes.
If you are going to stop mom from walking to the neighbor because you are scared that she's going to fall, what will be the impact on that?
Well, absolutely, and that's the same message that's then reinforced. It's all of what we talk about with neural pathways. You keep saying the same thing, you keep hearing the same thing, you get to believe exactly that message, and then you lose the confidence. And it's wonderful that organisations like yours are really committed to encouraging people to realise that they can stay active and have full quality of life, and you don't have to fall into listening to this geriatric giant and have it stop you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
The second one,
yes,
that I wanted to touch on today, and all of these topics, could go on for
they are all big topics, absolutely.
But it was about incontinence,
yes.
And I think it's something that we don't really talk about.
Yep.
It's quite a taboo subject.
Absolutely.
We don't discuss it, and doctors don't always ask about it.
Right.
And that's where, again, becoming incontinent is not a normal part of aging, or it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
There's a lot of
That's reassuring to know, I think,
Yes.
for us, for you and me and the viewers at home.
Definitely.
So okay, that's good to know.
Not all types of incontinence can be reversed, but there are certain ones that, if it's left untreated, it will become permanent. And that's where, again, Ageless Grace does such good work, where we can bring in some exercises, some pelvic floor exercises.
Very good.
That can help, that can, restore some of the function that you've got. And if that intervention is not done, then something that was transient, something that could have gotten better, is left and becomes chronic. And again, Gina, I don't have to explain to you the effect that incontinence will have on a person's self-esteem, on their confidence.
Absolutely.
People tend to stay at home more. They're scared, they're concerned, people might know, people might find out. And again, impacts on their mobility, on their level of activity, and feeds into the cycle of increased falls, and the whole thing just feeds into itself.
So what tend to be the first kind of symptoms and issues that you see that you would want to be helping prepare people for, that, as you say, it might not be a permanent problem, but that they can get it sorted, visiting the doctor?
Definitely. Visiting the doctor and talking about it, because there's different types of incontinence. Stress incontinence, where you feel normally you would know your bladder is filling up, that you need to go to the toilet in a certain amount of time.
Right.
Where all of a sudden it's whoa now, and
right.
you don't have that grace period anymore
Okay.
to actually get to the toilet in time. But to talk about what type, there's different types, and there's different treatment options for the different types of incontinence. For some people, incontinence products are necessary.
Right.
And again, there's a huge range of it available for different types, for different levels, that can really add to your quality of life. It doesn't have to be a stamp to say that this is the end of your socialization.
Right.
That there are options that you can investigate. So the more people are informed, the more information, the more discussions about it, the better it will be for everybody.
So the great thing is you really feel that people can be encouraged to realise it doesn't have to be, to think that their journey is going to be that they're going to end up in incontinence nappies, because none of us want to kind of think that.
No.
But and you're right that obviously there are peoples and there are situations when that does happen. And I suppose particularly for people when they're bedridden towards the end, it's fairly inevitable then.
Yeah, for some, not for all. And again, I think that's just starting the conversation, that there's a lot of labels that's put on people for when you're older or when you will get old, this will happen. And we're just saying, be informed. Ask questions, ask about different options, treatment options, and ways that you can actually improve that, and also to be proactive. Working on your pelvic floor exercises, as you said earlier, that's not only for when you're older. That needs to happen, and everybody needs to be aware of that, and that you can improve it at any stage in your life when it might be necessary.
That's just a good reminder for all of us that we should be doing that, whatever our age is. Very, very important. Definitely. Absolutely, absolutely. And so it's pronounced Geratec, so being British, sorry. Geratec. So Geratec, and they have a website. Do you have documents on the website that the public can go to?
We do, definitely.
And what is the website address?
It's www.geraticza.com.
Oh, ZA.com.
That's
okay.
Right. That's right.
So Geratec ZA or Geratec.za. It's always
Geratec
important.
ZA. Yes.
ZA, good.
ZA
important.
And .com. We recently expanded to Namibia as well, so that's why we've got
excellent.
separate ones.
Excellent, wonderful, wonderful. And I know that there are many different aspects of the things that the organisation does, which we're going to hear from some of your colleagues in the weeks to come, which is great. But your own background, tell us a little bit, Yolande, about yourself as well, and what brought you to working with older people as well, and to working with Geratec.
I'm an occupational therapist and worked in the UK for some time, and I got their exposure to the whole range of human beings, in the sense from working with children from 6 months to a year, to the oldest lady I worked with was 102 years old.
Wow.
But then returning to South Africa, Geratec came on my path, and it is about learning from the people that I work with, learning from the wisdom that people in older age have already accumulated.
Yes.
But trying to make a difference, trying to make a difference to the quality of life. And irrespective of your age, irrespective of your diagnosis, irrespective of your functional ability, you can still have the best quality of life possible. And it's about making sure that people stay individuals, that they don't get consumed in this treadmill of care centres or old age homes, that they lose their identity, but they still stay who they are, and making sure that the support and the care that's given honours them as an individual and not just as a body that needs care.
That's wonderful, because that's exactly what we want to reach and promote and talk about here on the show, is to give people that upliftment and that promise that prevention is better than the cure, because the reality is we age. We all know that we have timestamps on us. None of us know how long we've got, but that we can have a quality of life and really be proactive and responsible for ourselves. And it's wonderful that organisations like yours are supporting that. So Yolande, thank you for sharing. I'm delighted to have learned a little bit more about the Geriatric Giants, and I know that people can go and take a look at the website, and I look forward to meeting some of your colleagues in weeks to come. So thank you for being with us on the show today.
Great pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks.
So there we are, active and healthy with Gina, and hearing a little bit about the Geriatric Giants. I hope that you enjoyed your exercises today. As you've heard, it's our responsibility, each and every one of us, to stay active, to stay healthy, be responsible for your own movement, and just get the information as and when you need it from the right sources. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you next week.